MovieWeb.com.
Now I was going to ask, why did you decide to focus on 5 separate stories as opposed to just putting all of your energy onto one of the stories?
Well, because it's the book of Saviano. It's a very powerful and important book because it shows how the system is conditioned all the territory of Naples and around Naples, and also how he has business with all the world. So it's not just a problem of Naples, of Gomorrah and Naples, but it's a global problem about economy, about about capitalism, and so is the business with also with the United States, how they invest in United States, and so I thought it was important to tell different story, and of course in the book there were hundreds. I don't know if you read the book.
I have not read the book.
Yeah, there are hundreds of story, so hundreds of possibly movie and no one, because there is not a develop of dramaturgy. So we decide for 5 story, and we develop on the dramaturgy of these 5 stories. So I think the book and the movie are complementary. The book gives more information, and the movie is more focused on these 5 characters.
Well, how difficult was it to narrow it down to the 5 stories that you wanted to focus on out of all of those stories that you say are in the book?
Well, we decided 5 stories that, 5 characters different from all the other mafia movies that we saw, and with 5 themes that could be also universal, about problem of environment, about problem of black market, problem of drug dealer, problem of confusion between reality and fiction, and war. So, a theme that everybody can understand in every part of the world.
Well, having worked in documentaries, did you sort of approach this film as a documentarian would approach a documentary?
Well, the book was written like a reportage. So we want to give also in the movie the feeling to the audience that it's a kind of it's a kind of reportage, to give to the audience the feeling to be there inside of that reality. So it was very important to be invisible as director, as a crew. So to give these feelings to the audience was very important to do that. So we decide to don't make any comment. We didn't want to judge and say who is good, who is bad, make a thesis movie, no? So we decide to follow from inside this character and leave to the audience the possibility to judge and say what is good and what is bad. But I think you can have a moral lesson from the consequence of the choice that this character have in the movie. But I didn't want to make any comment, because the material was already so strong that the face, the atmosphere, the location, that you don't need to say something else about it.
Mm-hmm.
Just show. It comes from the lesson of a great Italian director called Roberto Nossellini, one of the master of the new realism. And Paisa, that is a masterpiece, that is one of my point of reference for Gomorrah. It's a movie that tells story about Second War, and from small story, from small character, it tells a country.
Now, when Roberto published this book, I guess there were threats made against his life. Is that correct? Now, did you experience anything like that when you went to make this film?
Well, I was very worried about that when I went to shot the movie, but I found people very open to the idea to work on project, artistic project. They love cinema. They love very much, and so I found people happy to work, and so I my my position is different from the position of Saviano, because Saviano comes from that reality. He was a journalist. He wrote the book. It's a denounced book with name and everything, and he attacked the boss. So it's now it's a kind of symbol of the war against Gomorrah, and his situation is very sad because it's under production, and probably there is not going back because he dropped the line. And so I'm a filmmaker, so I've done a movie about Gomorrah. Maybe the next will be about something else. So it's different, my situation from the situation of Saviano.
Well, with the situation being different, was it difficult to collaborate with him while he was writing the screenplay, or did he go off and write the screenplay and then you just took it from him and didn't see him again until the film was done?
I started to work with him. I started to talk. The first time when the book was published, just by 2 weeks, he was not under protection and the book was not a bestseller. And then he started to have problem with Gomorrah, so he started to come in my house when we start to work on the screenplay. He started to come with the police, so it was always more difficult for him to come. And also when I shot the movie, was better don't have Saviano on the territory where we shot. So well, his life is very complicated and very sad now, and so but I think he knows that is the only thing that he can do is write and tell what he think. That's the only way to be alive for him. So